At 5 years old, a funnel cloud hovered over my house. Shingles flew around my neighborhood. I was terrified, but I couldn't help my fascination. It sparked a passion that turned into a career. I'm meteorologist Will Bratton, and this is why I'm here. Tornadoes fascinated me from that moment forward, and it quickly became an obsession. I spent hours in my elementary school library finding books about weather and trying to learn everything I could. That obsession eventually led me to Mississippi State University to study meteorology. At first, I never had any intention of doing broadcast meteorology. I wanted to work for the National Weather Service in St. Louis or maybe the Storm Prediction Center. But during college, something started to stand out to me. More and more people were turning to digital meteorology and social media for weather information, especially during severe weather events. While there are a lot of incredible meteorologists online, there is also a growing side of digital meteorology driven almost entirely by clicks and engagement. Worst case scenarios get pushed as certainty. Raw model runs get posted without any context. Fear spreads faster than science, and the bridges of trust are burned down one by one. And I started realizing that if this is where people are getting their information, then trustworthy digital meteorology matters a lot. That's where the idea for WillBrattonWx really began. I felt like I had a unique skill set and opportunity to make a positive impact and hopefully save lives through meteorology. Since I already had experience in sports broadcast and radio covering St. Louis City SC and other St. Louis sports, my broadcast friends constantly wondered why I wasn't pursuing weather broadcasting too. Every time they asked, I would tell them the same thing. I wanted to do private government work and I didn't want to be confined to one local region. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized there was an opportunity to do something really meaningful here. The mission is simple: save lives, help restore trust in meteorology, and leave the world better than we found it. I spent months consulting with meteorologists across every part of the industry: broadcast, private sector, government, academia, storm chasing, you name it. James Spann, Matt Laubon, Dave Murray, Craig Herrera, Andrew Markowitz, Dr. Andrew Mercer, Greg Nordstrom, Mark Sudduth, and many others. Every conversation resulted in surprising, overwhelming support and resonation with the mission and the methods that we were planning. One conversation especially stuck with me though. James Spann had just been talking with us about the April 2011 super outbreak in Alabama and remembering the victims and the families impacted by those storms. We spoke for a long time about the responsibility that meteorologists carry and the growing problems associated with click-engineered meteorology online, and I filled him in on my preliminary ideas for this channel. Before we wrapped up the conversation, he looked me in the eyes and he said, word for word, "Will, you have to do this." And that moment stuck with me. So I started building. I pulled together years of savings and started investing in equipment, software, production, and eventually a truck. I worked with an incredibly talented STL local brand designer, and WillBrattonWx was born. At the same time, I had the support of an unbelievable group of friends at Mississippi State University who supported me from the jump. Some offered free services, some offered promotion, some offered to help chase storms, forecast, edit, or even produce content. Even when people offered to help for free, I still wanted to compensate them however I could because this was really never supposed to be a one-man operation, and their time and work is very valuable. As things grew, I quickly realized there was an opportunity to do more than just build our own platform. That's why I started inviting meteorologists into our public Discord server to contribute to forecast discussions and severe weather analysis in real time. Within the first week, we had over 50-degree meteorologists in the server from coast to coast across broadcast, private sector, government, research, and storm chasing. It was crazy. And the public can see those forecast discussions and all of that analysis that we're doing. They can read our thoughts, our science, our disagreements, and our forecast reasoning in real time. I genuinely believe that level of transparency matters. Meteorology works best when ideas are challenged, discussed, and improved collaboratively, because the reality is we don't know everything about our atmosphere. And I also know something else. I don't know everything. I will make mistakes. Every meteorologist does. Forecasting is difficult and no single person can see every single angle of every setup. What matters is being honest about mistakes, learning from them, listening to feedback, and constantly trying to improve, all while being completely transparent about fail modes, uncertainties, and any other thing in the forecast that could cause it to not verify 100% accurately. That is exactly what we're going to do here. I also know this may fail. Maybe we won't make the impact that I hope we can make. Maybe this whole thing never becomes financially sustainable, but I'm in graduate school right now, and this is the one time in my life where I have the opportunity to attempt something like this. So why not invest in myself and try to do some good for people? Financially, I'm way in the red on this project, as you can imagine, but honestly, that's completely fine because this has never been about money for me. Before I ever take a dime personally from this project, I'm going to make sure that the people helping build and operate it are properly compensated for the incredible work that they do. On top of that, a percentage of merchandise sales will go directly toward charity and disaster relief efforts. 20% at first, and hopefully going up to 50% or higher as soon as things become financially sustainable. I want to do as much good as I can for the community. Everything we do at WillBrattonWx will be done with the public in mind. Honest forecasts, transparent science, real collaboration, clear communication during severe weather, no fear-mongering, no posting model chaos without context, no pretending to know everything, just real meteorology from people who genuinely care about doing this the right way for the millions of folks who may be impacted by weather. And none of this is possible without you. You never have to spend a penny supporting WillBrattonWx. Simply tuning in, sharing our coverage, and being active in our community helps us spread trustworthy weather information and hopefully save lives together. Whether you're watching this before our first forecast even drops or you're watching it years down the line from now, I hope that you feel like these promises and missions are being fulfilled or at least are moving in the right direction. Thank you for being part of this mission. Let's save lives together. Welcome to WillBrattonWx.